We are starting. All right, we are starting with as part 2. We got we left off at October of 2022 when Divine Mother's dark, beautiful, starry night cloak coming from Harmonic Universe 6 began to really come into the earth, really feeling that the guardian incarnate beings like myself and the many others on these teams started to feel the changing of the elemental structure that this divine cloak brought. So, what we had a lot of damage. One of the main ways that the negative aliens damaged angelic humanity was by creating a death net at the level of the bone, the skin, and the blood. And so this beautiful dark matter template was began to rewrite, and it's still happening now, rewrite the elemental distortions and damage that were done to this dark matter template in Harmonic Universe 6. And Divine Mother began repairing the dark matter template so that it could give the proper codes to the elemental kingdom on Earth and start changing the nature of our grid and everything in our bodies so that we could receive the organic living light of our intended divine blueprint and begin healing the death net at the skin, the bone, and the blood. And I remember there was a beautiful transmission where let's see if I remember this, the bones were being healed by the aqua light. Beautiful aqua light. The skin was being healed by the emerald light, and the blood was being healed by the golden chalice codes. And so this was an amazing time of Divine Mother's cloak, her starry night, her black velvet infused with super bright stars. And I remember, and you can look this up again on Ascension Glossary, Lisa writes it so beautifully, so beautifully. And so that was October of 2022. And, I'm just writing the major highlights that I remember. There's so much more, so much more. But let's go to January of 2023. So moving into January of 2023, very emotional to talk about. It was actually February of 2023 that I myself, as a human and as a guardian, working on both levels, began the rollout of Holy Father. And the way this began was very personal to my life as Sarah Hope Adams, sapphire feminine in the underworld, my inner child very much wandering in the underworld. And, I'd say my outer child, my experience of life has been very much being in the underworld, not knowing my place in this world, feeling like a stranger in a strange land, feeling almost like it was a mistake that I was put in a human body, very much wandering lost for about 40 years now, right? It's like, because this began in 83 and this is 2023. So about 40 years in the desert wandering and just not knowing how to have a career, how to make money, how to be a part of this world in a way that I could translate what I came to bring. Just really confused. I still am, even as I make this video. And I'll tell you more about what's coming that I think is going to bring clarity for some of us who have walked in the underworld as the sapphire feminine, as the ruby masculine, and why it's been such a challenge for us to find a place here as guardian incarnates representing these unchosen bloodlines that were massacred by the Antichrist over and over again, and that this whole grid as we know it was designed to exclude. So this is all shifting. So I'm excited to bring this. But back in 2023, 3 January, I was very lost. Still another layer of lostness. Like I've incarnated at least 16 inner child starseed pieces, and every one of them lost. Just when I think, oh, now we're going to function in this world, another walking wounded gets thrown onto me, and I'm lost again in the journey of the void. So in 2023, February, Frank and I went to Mexico, and I'm connected to the off-planet Mayans and the on-planet Mayans. So we were told that we had to go to the Mayan Riviera, and especially Tulum. The waters of Tulum were very important for the grid work that I was going to have to do. I had no idea. I thought I was going on a vacation. My human self always thinks, oh, sunshine, warm water, snorkeling. I'm going to be a mermaid. I'm going to go on vacation. Never happens. It's always grid work. It's always grid work. And I'm going through all these torturous initiations. I'm healing all these massive timelines. I barely get a moment of vacation. I mean, it's just a joke. It's a total joke. So this trip was not like no other. We went to Cancun, Tulum, and Bacalar, and drove 600 miles in a rental car. Got totally swindled by the rental car companies. Boy, there are so many sharks just waiting to swindle you in Mexico. It is crazy. But anyway, we'll leave that for another day, another video. So I pulled out so many cursed grid points in the Mayan Riviera that were connected to the sacrifice, because I mean, we visited some of these, sacrificial sites, and so much of the blood sacrifices in that land down there. So I was transforming code after code after code. It was pretty horrendous. But after I finished coming back from the gauntlet of the Mayan Riviera, I began. I don't know why I have my headphones on. I don't need headphones. It's crazy. After coming back from the gauntlet of the Mayan Riviera, I was introduced in a very strange way, which I probably can't even explain, but my divine complement from Tara, planet Tara, 5D Earth, where we held our angelic divine blueprint, where Holy Father and Holy Mother were fully connected to the organic human angels who walked Tara for a good 200,000 years of heaven on Tara, our 5D organic earth, where the first prototype of angelic humanity came from the mind of God and existed in a double diamond sun body. So this was ecstasy. This was exquisite ecstasy. This was masculine and feminine in full fusion, dancing in light and sound, total unity with everything in creation. Just a festival of love and the magnification of joy. We had enough separation consciousness that we could feel the ecstasy of joining with one another. And my partner on that planet happened to be a movie star down here on Earth, which is the only way it worked, because I started connecting to him at the level of his profile on Instagram. And an imposter started answering me. It wasn't really him, it wasn't really his profile. But what happened was his higher self from Tara was actually infusing this love into me, even though the imposter was a total, probably wanted to murder or kill me or rape me. I don't know, take all my money. Who knows what he wanted? But he was inviting me to come to my homeland, and I'll put you on my podcast, and I'll advertise your music because I love your voice. So all of this was like the Taran energy of my beloved diamond sun partner on a world that's heaven is coming to me and lifting my sapphire feminine, who's lost and sad and depressed and, totally feeling disconnected from success or being lifted or being seen by this world in any way, and lifts her out of the underworld. I felt like stars were surrounding my heart and literally lifting me up. And that lasted for 6 days till I found out It was an imposter. And then I dropped onto broken glass in hell. And that was how we began to invoke Holy Father into the earth, was during that time. And that was how my participation in the invocation of Holy Father to come free, especially the feminine, from the underworld. It seems like the sapphire feminine in the underworld, like Persephone in the myth of Demeter and Persephone, seems like there is a special partnership between that sapphire feminine, who's like the daughter of Tara. And on earth, the Taran body was completely massacred. And the highest feminine on Tara was thrown into the underworld. So her partnership with the Holy Father is huge. It seems that he lifts her up, and that's the beginning of him lifting the earth, who's also a feminine planet, out of her lockdown in fear-based reality. And so it was super painful for me. The whole of 2023, I spent in a lot of brokenheartedness, but I knew that I had been shown the template of the double diamond sun body in those 6 days. And so I knew, okay, I have to find this within myself. If I was able to be pulled up into it, that means I have the capacity to unite the masculine and the feminine and actually draw down the Holy Father essence to lift up the sapphire feminine and marry her in the Yeshua Magdala mature sacred marriage of the diamond sun body, which involves a full fusion of mind and heart, an embodiment of the unification of the electron and the proton, the negative charge, the positive charge, the electro, the magnetic, creating the spin state of the double diamond sun body, light body. So that's when I began to design my webinar, Path Cutting the Diamond Sun Body, which I haven't even released yet. But that whole year, I was being given the glimpse of the coming of the Diamond Sun Body, which would start coming online right now. And that's going to be the next part of this video, is talking to you about how the Holy Father has returned. So I'm going to make that part 3. I'm going to talk a little bit more about 2023. So at solstice of 2023, the Emerald Sun blueprint, which is our blueprint we had on Tara as angelic humans, began coming back through the Hill of Tara in Ireland. So much of our original blueprint, the last time we held it, was in the Celtic Druid, the original Celtics who came through the Carpathian Mountains to Scotland, Ireland, and under the Hill of Tara is where the Emerald Sun grid was trapped and cursed under the curse of the Corvidae, the crows, horrible sounds of the curse of the banshee, just massive amounts of negative alien bondage and repression to keep the angelic blueprint down. Once they invaded Ireland and killed off almost all of the angelic humans, they put a huge curse and lockdown over the Hill of Tara and over Scotland, all the places where the human angelic blueprint had flourished in the original Celtic tribes. They murdered all of them, and they locked down the entire Emerald Heart. Well, on September 9th of 2023, let's go back to the solstice, the summer solstice. We started feeling the Emerald Heart calling us, and I started being pulled into this vision quest. I made these beautiful audios of this child walking through the mystical, magical realms of the Emerald Forest. I wonder if it's on any of my video reels. The thing is, the audio was copyrighted, So I didn't put it out, but on July 4th, I was ushered into the Emerald Forest. It was so exquisite. I began as if I were like a child, leaving the shore of everything I had known before and hearing the call of this incredible beauty of this mystical forest of love, right? Where all the kingdoms of nature were living in oneness. Well, so I was being called by the Emerald Matrix, the Emerald Ankh and the Emerald, the whole grid that was pulling us into a whole new timeline. And it started on July 4th. But the equinox was when it opened. So this was an amazing time, ushering us in to a much higher timeline of the double diamond sun body. So this pulling me ever more towards the glimpse of what I had with the movie star in the false glimpse, who came to me as my husband on Tara. You don't have husbands, but you have partners. The word husband wasn't a part of Tara. It was partnership. And there was no codependency in the partnership on Tara because you were already completely heaven on earth. So you just chose your favorite man, as a woman, you chose your favorite man of the whole planet Tara. And he was mine, and I was his. And somehow our code, the colors and the sounds of our particular code had an emergent property of the most exquisite beauty that we could ever know. And so that's why we chose each other. So I'm going to stop here. This is taking us into the equinox this is the spring equinox. Sorry, not spring equinox. This is the summer solstice of 2023, when the organic code from the Emerald Sun template was really coming in and beginning to mutate the genetic code. I remember I fasted for, I think it was 3 days during that time. And I felt the mutation of my genetic code starting to transform a lot of the metallic AI from Armageddon Future that has been in my code, starting to blow that up and turn it into golden light. And that's what happening while the fireworks were happening on July 4th. That's what was happening too, but especially on summer solstice. That was starting to happen, which was ushering us in to July 4th, when the entire new timeline of the Emerald Sun, and I'm wearing a green shirt, so it's interesting. So the timeline of the Emerald Sun came as of summer solstice, really, and then clicked in to the full invocation, harnessing the earth toward the Emerald Sun timeline on July 4th. And that's where we'll stop here. And we'll go to part 3.